Now it's time for my Week 4 fantasy advice, guys, who I am interested in, and I think you should be as well. Up first, the most depressing part of the video, the injury board. Some guys to consider. First in Calgary, a bunch of offensive linemen are hurt and are going to be out for Week 4. That should drop down the status of John Cornish, who, let's be honest, hasn't played very well to start the year. In Saskatchewan, as everyone now knows, Ryan Smith is on the 6-game injury list, which is horrible for him considering how well he started the year. And finally in Hamilton, it's the usual gang. CJ Gable out, Luke Tasker out, and Nick Grigsby, he's been released. He's not even on the team. Keep an eye on Grigsby, see if he ends up with one of the other 8 CFL teams. And before we continue, a lot of people have been complaining that some weeks my lineup is over the salary cap. Let me say, the idea of this video is to give you guys that I'm interested in and advice at certain positions, not necessarily to be under the total. Having said that, I'm going to overcompensate because of your complaints, and I am way under this week. Let's start at quarterback, where I like Rakeem Cato from Montreal. Yes, they lost last week, but Cato had over 300 yards. In both games, he's been completing over 70% of his passes. Very impressive for a guy that young. At running back, I like Kendall Lawrence against Ottawa. Yes, it is a rematch. Last week had a great game. I expect similar things this week. Chad Simpson is day-to-day and has missed some practice. Did miss on Monday. I like Lawrence's versatility. At wide receiver, Eric Rogers. I've been on this guy all year from Calgary. Look what he did against the Argonauts, over 100 yards and a touchdown. This guy's been great since the Grey Cup last year. Expect big things for him for Calgary. Next up at the flex position, Austin Collie. First beyond anything else, this guy's value is ridiculous. Grab onto it now before the smart people at CFL and TSN realize that value is way too low. Both games he's had a touchdown. Both games he's looked comfortable. He's the number 2 guy for Travis Lulay. Next, at defense, I like the Edmonton Eskimos against Ottawa. Edmonton exposed Henry Burris and company last week. Walker did nothing on the ground. Edmonton returned an INT for a score. That is a high play, but I like the Eskimos. So much talent on that defense. At kicker, Boris Bayday. Say it with me, Bayday. I mean, it's an easy name to say. I won't say it anymore. I'm sorry. What I like about Montreal is they do have good players at both receiver and running back. Cato is growing. I don't trust them yet to be able to score touchdowns at critical points, which means Bayday should have a good day and collect you a couple field goals. Finally, my value pick, speaking of Montreal, played there for years, one of my favorites, Jamel Richardson from the Rough Riders taking on the BC Lions. The one thing we know about Kevin Glenn, he might throw a bunch of dumb interceptions, but he throws for a lot of yards. Richardson is the deep target. He only had 2 catches, but they were for long gains. And as a value guy, you can do a lot worse than Richardson. If you're up against the cap, go grab him. He should have a good game. So those are my Week 4 suggestions for your fantasy leagues. If you want to tweet me, I'm mcauz56, or you can get us at CFL. Good luck with your Week 4. Take Hamilton, but if Montreal doesn't turn the ball over, the Alouettes easily could win that game. Pretty sloppy last week.